Denver 7 has just confirmed what I had thought to be true yesterday. Johnny Hurley had died in the Arvada shooting because the cops had shot him. So here, let's listen to the beginning of this report, and then I'll talk some more about it.
And tonight we're going to take you through what we know so far. We begin with Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski and a deeper look at the events that left 3 people dead.
They are the questions police have not yet answered. Who killed the gunman, and how did Good Samaritan Johnny Hurley die?
So now watch how they bend over backwards to make sure that they don't indict the man that killed Johnny Hurley.
To get to those answers, let's open with a critical point. The details we have learned are difficult to share because we understand these are instantaneous decisions made in a high-stress, life-and-death situation. In the hours since Monday's shooting, Arvada police have confirmed the gunman was responsible for what has been described as a brutal murder.
Okay, of Gordon Beasley, right?
Arvada police officer Gordon Beasley.
Yep, Gordon Beasley is going to get shot. He's the first responder. Okay, so you got Ronald Troike, right? Let's go from the beginning. Ronald Troike, he writes a letter, and the way the cop said, he just hated police. For some reason, they should release that letter because I bet you he says a lot more than just that. But let's just assume that's true on its face. Okay, so Ronald Troike, he wrote a letter saying he hated cops, and then he started his gun rampage. And it ended quickly because Johnny Hurley was there. But Gordon Beasley is going to be the first responding officer. Gordon Beasley arrives at the scene, and Ronald Troike shoots and kills Mr. Beasley, Gordon Beasley. And while there's gunshots being shot, Ronald Troike just shot a cop, just shot Gordon Beasley. Johnny Hurley rushes into action, has a pistol, shoots and kills Ronald Troike. He shoots and kills Ronald Troike, and he saves all of Arvada, Colorado. All of Arvada, Colorado are saved, including the cops, because remember, he was going on a rampage against cops. And if you remember that shooter, that Syrian American who killed people at the King Supers, right, in the beginning of the year, what was it, 8 people that was killed? 8 people. There was a bunch of cops on the scene, and they waited until the gunman shot 8 before they eventually arrested him without incident. So Johnny Hurley is better than the cops that was in that King Supers with the Syrian American that killed 8 people. Johnny Hurley killed Ronald Troike after he killed 1 cop, so he couldn't kill no more. And then some John Doe police officer comes up on the scene, some John Doe trigger-happy fucking shithead psycho cop came to the scene and killed Johnny Hurley.
The details we are now providing you come independently from free-ranking and informed sources privy to key information at the highest levels. First, as Arvada PD confirmed, the gunman shot and killed Officer Gordon Beasley. Seconds later, eyewitnesses have reported Samaritan John Hurley responded to the sound of gunshots. Our sources now confirming it was Hurley who shot and killed the gunman.
So he's eventually going to say that the police are involved, so I'll listen to a little bit more of that. I want to compare and contrast this a little bit to the Isaiah Brown shooting. Isaiah Brown calls the police, and then the police show up and they shoot Isaiah Brown while he's on the phone with 911. Hey, 911, yeah, there's a shooter out there. Can you boom, 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 boom? Yeah, thanks a lot, 911. I thought that you couldn't get, more fucked up than that situation. You go to a scene and you see the criminal and you see the victim, and you shoot and kill the victim, right? But instead, there wasn't a victim. They shot and killed the hero. They shot and killed the hero. Oh, we were being terrorized. There was a criminal. There was an active shooter terrorizing all of Arvada, but Johnny Hurley saved him. Well, he's got to fucking die. He's got to fucking die. And there's, it's even more fucked up when you consider that there's no capital punishment in Colorado. So that Syrian American who killed 8 innocent people, he won't die. He won't die. Colorado will take care of him, pay for, 3 hots in a cot, make sure he gets shelter, make sure he gets all of his food, and he'll get extra police protection because, of course, protective custody, since people might be going after him in jail and shit. You don't want him to be, Jesus, slightly annoyed or, to deal with any kind of nuisances. And then there's the Aurora shooter. He killed, a dozen or so innocent people. So if you're in Colorado and you're an active gunman and you kill a bunch of innocent people, you get to live. But if you're in Arvada and you kill the active gunman, well, you get murdered. You get shot dead. You get shot dead and cold. So I thought that Isaiah Brad was like, God, the cops couldn't have fucked up that situation any worse. You show up on the scene and let's just say there's a rape, right? And so, person A is raping person B, and you shoot and kill person B, the person who is getting raped. Now, this situation's a little bit different. Person A is raping person B, and then person C shoots person A, and then person D shoots person C.
And now the most difficult of the new information. Our sources tell us Samaritan Johnny Hurley was killed by gunfire from a responding officer. Throughout the day, our newsmen and our investigative team have been in lengthy discussions with our Arvada City leaders, making sure they were aware of the information we have uncovered and were prepared to share with you. In response to our calls, our Arvada PD offered this statement: "We will not confirm until the investigation team finishes its interviews and reviews forensic information."
Yeah, I don't trust the Arvada police whatsoever. You only got 48 hours to find, who the actual shooter is. They're going to, paint up the whole scene and do the whole goddamn thing and postpone this and make it longer and longer. Then eventually, it was okay. Nah, what they did was totally fine. Man, I am so livid. This situation is just so fucked up. Look how Arvada, the city of Arvada, treats a cop who murdered a hero. Look how they treat a cop who murdered a hero. They're not talking about his name. They're protecting him. He's probably got a vacation on administrative leave. A cop who murdered a hero, they're going above and beyond to cover his ass up. So, a cop who murders a hero, we need to save his ass. But a hero, a civilian hero who killed an active gunman and saved the entire town of Arvada, look how they treat him. We got to defund the police. Defund the police. What good are the Arvada police? The situation was taking care of Arvada police. What the fuck did you come up there just shooting motherfuckers for, you fucking psycho motherfuckers? Are y'all just killers just going around killing whoever the fuck you want to kill? If John Doe cop had came to the scene and shot the active shooter, if the Arvada police would have actually done their job and shot the active shooter, then rightfully so, that cop would have been a hero. Let's assume Beasley, right? He'd be a hero. He'd still be alive today. He'd get awards and accolades, get a 2-week vacation, but he'd be right back on the force, right? He still has his job, still making money, still has power, still part of the Thin Blue Line, still part of that gang. That's what would have happened if John Doe cop would have came to the scene and shot the active shooter, and he was the hero. If he was the hero, well, he would have been, treated like a hero. He would have been given a hero's welcome. Instead, you have a good Samaritan who was not treated like a hero. He was treated worse than a dog. He was treated worse than all those mass murderers who killed all the innocent people. The good Samaritan, he was shot and killed after he took care of the active shooter. Ronald Troike could have killed so many more cops. At least 8 innocent people was killed in that King Super, so he could have killed innocent standby, people, and he could have shot a bunch more cops. So not only did Johnny Hurley save the people of Arvada, Johnny Hurley saved the police of Arvada. The police of Arvada was saved, so that way they had the opportunity to go and kill Johnny Hurley. So Johnny Hurley saved the Arvada police just so he can get killed by them. There's no capital punishment in Colorado, but Johnny Hurley just got capitally punished.
Here's more for you to consider. Since Monday's shooting, Arvada PD has not said how Samaritan Hurley was killed, only calling him a hero. Again, it's important to stress this is not an indictment on the decision by the officer.
It's not an indictment. That's really peculiar. Denver 7 is bending over backwards to make sure, look, we know the Arvada police killed the guy. We found out the truth. You didn't want to tell us the truth, but we found out the truth anyways. And we don't want to piss you off still. Still, we want to coddle you. And still, we know you killed an innocent person, but they've already forgiven you. Denver 7 has already forgiven you, Arvada. We don't want to indict the cop who murdered the Good Samaritan hero, so Jesus Christ, right? We don't want to indict the Roman soldier who murdered Jesus Christ. Don't indict Pontius Pilate. I mean, what did Pontius Pilate do except for was totally responsible for the killing of a Good Samaritan? Don't indict a murderer. I mean, my God, he's just a murderer. Don't indict the murder. Jesus fucking Christ. John Hurley was the hero, shot and killed like a dog in the street. To see if this situation was fair, just reverse the situation. Just reverse the situation. So if John Hurley, let's say he saved the town, he shoots the active shooter, but he accidentally shoots the cop. What if he would have accidentally shot a cop? Are the Arvada police going above and beyond to make sure that, you know, his name is fine and all the evidence points that, you know, it was a tough situation and he didn't mean to shoot the cop because he was shooting the active shooter, but the cop was shooting at him and so he had to defend himself? If Johnny Hurley did the exact same thing that killer cop did, and made a mistake, made an accident, shot the cop dead, you know, in the fight to stop the active gunman, do we forgive Johnny Hurley? Do we forgive Johnny Hurley? Do we drag our feet and wait several fucking days before we tell anybody what the fuck happened? I'll tell you what happened if John Hurley would have done that. Accidentally shot a cop. Well, fuck, he would have got 15 bullets in him, right? If he would have actually fucked up that situation. If he would have shot a cop, my God. I mean, he would have been ruined on a whole other fucking level. You know, accidentally shot a cop. No, the Arvada police don't apologize. They don't say sorry. They're not saying, "Oh shit, we don't want to indict you, Johnny Hurley. We don't, you know, we know that it was a stressful situation. Instantaneous decisions had to be made. We know Johnny Hurley. We know this. If he would have accidentally killed a cop, they would have, you know, fucking roasted him. They would have arrested him and thrown him in jail. Yet, if you have a badge and a hat on, well, you don't get arrested. You don't get thrown in jail. You get a 2-week vacation. And then the cops go, you know, work overtime to make sure that you can get right back on the team, get right back on the force. Make sure you get to keep that gun. Yeah, you only shot an innocent fucking person, Arvada police. Jesus Christ. Could you fuck up worse than killing the victim? Yeah, you could kill the person that saved the victim. That would be worse. That would be worse.
An active shooter situation, what he or she saw prior to the decision is not yet known. It's fair to conclude the decision to shoot had to be made in an instant. Through our sources, we now know the missing details. Also, it's standard protocol in these situations.
I don't feel like we would have forgiven Johnny Hurley so quickly if he would have accidentally shot a cop. And, you know, there's a felon, so who knows how many more people could have got shot and killed had Johnny Hurley not stood up. And when it comes to Gordon Beasley versus Johnny Hurley, essentially, you know, I want to say they're in the same boat, but not really. Well, kind of. They were both killed by, you know, a trigger-happy, psychotic piece of crap. But Gordon Beasley, he's the first responding cop on the scene, and then he's going to get shot and killed. There should literally be no difference to how Gordon Beasley and Johnny Hurley are treated. Gordon Beasley gets a big-ass parade. Johnny Hurley gets a big-ass parade. Gordon Beasley gets a nice speech by a bunch of cops and a 12-gun salute. John Hurley gets good speeches by the cops or whoever in a 12-gun salute. Are the police of Arvada just going to let the family take care of John Hurley? Because, frankly, I think the Arvada police should just definitely pay for the funeral. Without a doubt, pay for the funeral, Jesus Christ. If not, maybe provide a pension to John Hurley's wife and kids if he had any. Maybe put a statue up of Johnny Hurley. Put a statue up of Johnny Hurley. Have a conversation with the whole community about what had happened and how are the Arvada police going to make sure that they will never fucking do this shit again. Celebrate Johnny Hurley's life. Talk good about Johnny Hurley. Gordon Beasley, how they treat Gordon Beasley and how there should be no difference whatsoever with how the Arvada police treats the death of Gordon Beasley and treats the death of John Hurley. ultimately, this tells everybody, if you're in Arvada, you should really consider about, if you should stay there, because your cops are killing innocent, heroes. And what good is that? What fucking good is that to shoot the hero? Hey, Batman came and saved us all. Pop, 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 take that, Batman. You know what I mean? What good is that? That's fucking terrible. That's absolutely awful. And again, compare and contrast, right? If Johnny Hurley wasn't there that day, how many more Arvadans get killed? How many more citizens and how many more police get killed? At least 8 got killed with that Syrian American, and at least a dozen got killed with that Aurora shooter. So I think we can assume that he could have caught, it's a busy day or whatever, just shooting, like shooting fish in a barrel, right? It's a turkey shoot. So John Hurley saved many people that day, and his only reward, getting shot in the fucking head. We don't even do that to the King Super Killer, not the Aurora shooter, not the King Super Shooter. You get to live in Colorado's jails forever. You get shelter, you get room, and you get extra police protection. But if you save the town of Arvada, if you save the people of Arvada, then you don't get to exist anymore. You don't get to exist anymore. I'd rather live in a town that stands up against the felonious, murderous sons of bitches, not the town where the cops are the felons.